Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Baton Rouge. I'm Reverend Charles Perry, and I am delighted to welcome you all to be here in worship with us today, whether you are actually here in the sanctuary on this lovely day outside or whether you're joining us through the miracle of technology. Know that you are welcome here with us, whoever you are, wherever you are on your soul's journey. So now let's all get ready, sit back, be at ease, and begin our service with song. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. O teacher, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving of ourselves that we receive. And with Christ within, we're born to eternal life.
The word for Sunday, October 9th, is world peace. And we affirm, peace creates beauty in the world. An artist creates beauty out of a spectrum of shades and hues, and the diversity of color adds to the depth of the artwork. In this same manner, the differences in the world show the possibility of splendor when combined in the right way. I envision a world in which all people are accepted exactly as they are, and I set an intention to practice and facilitate goodwill toward others. I behold the world around me and find examples of people and cultures blending and mixing in magnificent ways. The potential for peaceful interaction and coexistence are endless. Acts of kindness, honesty, and healthy communication paint pictures of harmony. As I choose non-judgment and unconditional positive regard, I create peace in the world. And from Psalm 34, verse 14, depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Will y'all please join me in our welcome blessing with outstretched arms and a love and warm and loving heart. Let's greet each other. All together, please. We love you. We bless you. We behold the Christ in you. Who you are makes a difference in our lives. Yes, it certainly does. And may the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard our hearts and minds today and every day. Now, please join me in our statement of being, which is unity's first principle. All together, please. There is only one presence, one power, and one intelligence, active as the universe and as my life. God, the good, omnipotent. And so it is.
Loving God, loving each other, making music with my friends. Loving God, loving each other, and the story never ends. We push back from the table to listen to the word. Our secret plan we've made just has to go. It isn't complicated, we don't need lots of rules. This is all you really need to know. Loving God, loving each other, making music with my friends. Loving God, loving each other, and the story never ends. We tend to make it harder, build steeples out of stone, fill books with explanations of the way. But if we stop and listen and break a little bread, we would hear what Spirit has to say. Loving God, loving each other, making music with my friends. Loving God, loving each other, and the story never ends. Loving God, loving each other, making music with my friends. Loving God, loving each other, and the story never ends. And the story never ends.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was lovely. So, good morning, everyone. As Janet lights this Christ candle for us, let us remember who and what we really are. You, just as we begin this worship service with prayer, deep breath, let your shoulders drop, relax your belly, and know that the chair that supports you will continue to keep you safe and support you well as we move deeper and deeper within, feeling the truth. This little light of mine is growing brighter as I shine. Father, Mother, God, thank you for Unity Baton Rouge and for this wonderful guest minister that we have, Reverend Larry Marie, and her beautiful uh, group of singers and musicians that she has with her. We are truly blessed, each one of us, in this entire beloved community, which contains us all and embraces us all and brings us into oneness. We let go now of any preconceived notions about what ought to happen here. And we allow the Holy Spirit to create this day in its perfect way. We forgive ourselves and all others for all mistakes of the past, or all said things we said and things we did and things we thought that are not in alignment with this light of the world that we truly are. We let go of blame and judgment, and we let go of guilt and shame. We come to know that each one of us is the perfect representation of the divine being. We are truly grateful for all our blessings. And we call for these blessings also to bless the lives of all those who come to us in this moment for prayer, whether family members or neighbors or politicians or uh, community leaders or just anyone that we have formerly judged. Think of them that way and call to mind our knowing that they are indeed God's beloved children, growing as we are into the expression of divine light. Thank you. Thank you, God, for all the many blessings that we have now, all the blessings of this day, and all the blessings on the way. We are truly grateful. We let these words be so in the name of all that's holy, and because we allow them to be true, and so they are. Amen and amen.
The meditation song and also some words for the music today is in your bulletin in case you didn't notice. And we love when you sing along.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. I am the face of God. I know you in my heart. You are a part of me. I am the face of God. I am the face of God. I know you in my heart. You are a part of me. I am the face of God.
So just remembering those beautiful words of Reverend Edwin as we settled into our chairs, letting go of the past, forgetting right now about the future, and just moving into this space right here, right now. I invite you to bring to mind someone who you know absolutely loves you and see their face as the face of God. And just notice when you do that, how your heart fills with love. Mm. And now I invite you to bring to mind somebody, it might even be a stranger, that irritated you this past week or brought some kind of discord into your life. Mm. And see their face as the face of God. And notice if that shifts anything for you. Just notice if it allows you to let go. Mother Teresa said, God speaks in the silence of our heart, and listening is the beginning of the prayer. So I just invite you for a few seconds, just enjoy this music and allow God to speak in the silence of your heart, and listen to the prayer. And I bring you back. Just notice what came up for you. What did you hear? What was the message that you received? Just notice what it was. Anchor that in your heart. And really pay attention to these words about everyone, every single person that you meet being the face of God.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Sing the I with us.
I am the face of God. I know you in my heart. You are a part of me. I am the face of God. I am the face of God. I know you in my heart. You are a part of me. I am the face of God.
Ernest Holmes in Richer Living wrote, "Every heart responds to the warmth of love. Every mind yearns for its embrace, and no life is complete without it. Love really is the fulfillment of the law of good. Love alone can heal the world and cause people to live together in unity and peace."
And when we live in that unity and peace, we weave ourselves together. So our song that we're going to sing now is 212 in your songbooks. So I invite you to get out your songbook and sing with us how we can weave ourselves together. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other. But we've entwined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony in one great symphony. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me greets the Christ in thee in one great family. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. How about a applause for our musicians today and that beautiful song that Jude led us off with? I just love it. It touches my heart every time I hear it. I am so grateful to be here today. And the reading about world peace, it's a big topic, especially with all that's going on in the world right now. And I know that my mind naturally wanders to places in the world where there's not peace, like Ukraine. And today, I want us to look at the people of Ukraine and all the places where there's discord in this world. And I invite you to truly step into our beliefs that all is God. It's hard when we see war. It's hard when we think about the Ukrainian people who are suffering, and we see a lot of strife and a lot of hardships. But what I know is if we make them victims, we put them in the lowest level of consciousness. And I know I don't want to do that. So let's really hold strongly to that belief that's all's God. I always come with a question for you. The question for the day is this: what's the one choice you can make today to fully step into the truth of who you are? To know that what it is in your heart matters. And to remember, peace begins with you. Peace begins with you. So what can we do about all that strife and that discomfort and all the things in the world that we see that don't look loving? We sing every week, let there be peace on earth. And let it begin with me. The only way that we're ever going to see peace in the world if it begins in our own minds and hearts, in our standing in that belief that the stillness and the peace of God are ours. You know, we live in an era where the importance of how we utilize our magnificent creative minds is extremely important. We are continuing to discover and expand our ability to express the peace that lives within us. I love that Fillmore wrote, and this was in 1939 when, as you're aware, there was a lot of cloud of war on hand. And this is what he wrote about Jesus. His great work was the awakening of men to certain fundamental truths of being. He taught the power of mind, thoughts, words. But peace, harmony, and love must first be planted in the minds of men. Jesus gave us the consciousness of peace. He said, "My peace I give unto you. My peace I give unto you." So we each have to learn to cast out the doubts that peace is happening. Peace in me, peace in the world. And that's the only way that it's going to happen. A lot of you are probably familiar with Mary Baker Eddy. She founded a religious movement known as Christian Science in the 19th century. And it was designed to bring about healings that were through mental and spiritual teachings. And she lived in a neighborhood where one of her neighbors she considered to be rough, rude, and really not very nice. And he wasn't very nice to anybody. And she just noticed it and it bothered her. And she thought, you know, it's time I stand in my own teachings. And so she started envisioning that every interaction with him was something that positive and loving. And she just prayed on that, kept it in her mind. And I bet you know what happened. The interactions that she started having with him were actually loving. Instead of being gruff, he actually smiled at her. What we hold in our minds is powerful. The world I see is the world in me. Say that with me. It's very powerful. The world I see is the world in me. If we believe that, what do you think we would hold in our minds? We would hold love and harmony and joy, peace, ease. Now, I know that I don't always live in that, but I want to live in the eternality of who I am, not just in this world. You know, they say be of this world, but not of it. Be in this world, but not of it. I want to be in this world and of the world, of that eternal being that I am, that essence of a child of the divine. In this world, but of that eternality. And that means that I'm living my life seeing everyone as the face of God, holding everyone in my heart as eternal children of the divine. Did anybody ever watch that show called Dog Whisperer? Cesar Millan went around the world and he would go into people's homes and help them with their unruly pets. Now, they would show them all the bad behavior. He would walk in and say, well, show me what's going on. And then he would start talking to the dogs. They would behave. He held in his heart the knowing that all of those animals that he loved knew how to behave. And in his presence, it was not a problem. Now, he might have had to teach them certain things and teach their parents and their owners certain things. But like Mary Baker Eddy, he was so steeped and the knowing of how well behaved those dogs and animals could be, that's who they became. That's essentially how we're going to have peace be part of our world, is to begin with that stillness of peace. I love that there's this lesson in the Course in Miracles that says, the stillness of the peace of God is mine. The stillness of the peace of God is mine. And in the lesson, it tells us this: if we give way to a disturbance, let us learn how to dismiss it and return to peace. Now, that is a very powerful line. If we give way to disturbance, let us learn how to dismiss it and return to peace. We need not but tell our minds with certainty, the stillness of the peace of God is mine. It does say with certainty. I wonder how often we allow fear to rob us of our peace. Peace that's our divine birthright, peace and love. How often do we allow fear to rob it of us? Think for a minute. When you feel peaceful and relaxed, how do you feel? Are you content? Do you feel love in your heart? Isn't that what we want for everybody on the planet? And if we were really wanting that for everybody on the planet and holding that vision in our mind, do you think that we might actually find world peace? That it might actually be able to come about, that we'd recognize that we're worthy of it? That we as individuals can truly do like Mary Baker Eddy and let all those wild thoughts and things go away and really hold within our hearts that be still and know that I am God? That's what Caesar did. He loved those animals so much that he knew how they could behave. What if we decided today to love our brothers and respect ourselves so much that we took charge of our lives, that we could walk into any situation and know the truth of that person, that when we looked at them, we saw the face of God? Boy. Ernest Holmes told us that love begets tolerance, and tolerance begets understanding, which is being able to put oneself in the other person's place and see why he acts as he acts and why he does what he does. Thus, love can create a better world in which to live. It is the one power which can and must bring peace to our changing world. And I like to say that if we really want peace to be in this world, it has to be within us with no exceptions. We can't say to ourselves, well, you know, I basically love everybody except Joe. Now, Joe has done this, that, and the other to me, and there's no way that I can ever let that go. Hello, you've just created a situation where there is not going to be world peace. You are holding within yourself some exception to everyone, absolutely everyone, being a child of the divine. We can't have exceptions. There is no peace if we have exceptions to recognizing within our own selves that any hurt that's happened, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. Now, hey, we're not perfect. I know that things pop into my mind and I get this little crunch. I was talking the other day about, somebody asked me, well, what disturbs your peace? And I said, oh, people that are unkind. You know, if you're in the grocery store and you see somebody griping to the clerk, or if you're out at a restaurant and they're being ugly to their waitress or whatever. I said, it really disturbs my peace. And I had to really think about that. Hey, I am judging the person that's being unkind as being unkind. I could learn to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, you know, maybe they had a really bad day. And it just so happens that they, at that moment, had to let it go. If we could learn to let those things that come up with us be released rather than let them fester, if we could figure out what disturbs our peace and shift it in some way so that we can find peace in that moment, don't you think the world would be a more peaceful place? It certainly would be for us. How do you feel when you have thoughts of, my life is horrible, I don't deserve happiness, or my life is so full of challenges right now? Do those thoughts, if you hang on to them, do they really serve you in living a life that's peaceful? Hey, if you have challenges in your life, I bet you have friends in your life that you can go say, I need a friend. Would you just listen? I need to get this off my chest. I have to do that. I have a friend that I can trust, that she'll just listen to me. Sometimes she'll give me some advice, but mostly she just listens. And sometimes just getting it out helps. And then we can be restored to those peaceful thoughts that we want to carry in our heart. There's a little practice, and I don't know how familiar you might be with Byron Katie's work, but she has a 4-question practice. This is the practical part of the message today. And it's just 4 little simple questions to help you when you're suffering in some way. Now, suffering is I'm feeling hurt, somebody did something to me, I'm being challenged, I have a health challenge, I have a car that's not running, whatever your challenge might be. Here's the 4 questions. Is it true? It might be true. You might say, yeah, it's true. Can you absolutely know that it's true? Now, hey, absolutely is a big word. That gets you thinking. Let's see. Suppose that I said, he just doesn't understand me. Is that true? I would say yes. Can I absolutely know that it's true? Well, maybe not. Hey, maybe he does understand me. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing in me. The 3rd question, I think, is the one that's probably, for me, the most revealing. How do I react when I believe that thought? Oh, here we are back at those thoughts are things. How do I react when I believe that thought? When I believe he doesn't understand me, how do I react? I might complain to my friends about how he doesn't understand me. Hey, I'm not bringing much peace into the world with that one. I might just recognize that he doesn't understand me and be unhappy, suffer a little bit inside. Nobody that loves you wants you to suffer. Nobody wants you to hurt in any way. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react when you believe that thought? And this is one of my favorites. Who would you be without that thought? Who would you be without that thought? Who would I be if I thought he didn't, if I thought he understood me? If I let go of that thought that he doesn't understand me, would I be happier? Oh, absolutely. I would be a lot happier. I wouldn't be walking around thinking, oh, he doesn't understand me. I don't want to spend time with him. I don't want to run into him. Ever walk down the street and cross the street because you didn't want to run into somebody? You're probably holding a little bit of, they're not the face of God in your heart. Byron Katie suggests that we look at those 4 questions and then we try to find an opposite. Like maybe he does understand me, or maybe I don't understand myself as well as I could. And then just give that some thought. It's an interesting process to go through, and the nice thing is you can do it by yourself. You don't even need anybody. And if you're wondering what the questions are and forget them, just go out to the internet and put Byron Katie's The Work. It's called The Work, and you'll get the 4 questions. Katie's work helps us to understand that we carry around a lot of thoughts that are not in our best benefit. They rob us of our peace and they cause us to suffer. How can the world be at peace if we're not even at peace within ourselves? How can we have world peace if it doesn't begin with me? If I'm not at peace, the world I see is the world in me. If you're feeling like there's something in your life that's causing you to suffer, something that's robbing you of your joy and of your peace, make a new choice. Think about it. Hey, the holidays are getting close. Anybody ever have to go spend time with their families? And you're thinking, okay, well, I'm married now. I have to be here with his family and try to spend some time with my family. And we have to do compromises. Love is never about compromise. It's about choices. And if back then I had been smart enough when I was married, if I'd been smart enough to realize that I was pretty miserable when I wasn't with my own family because I wanted to be in my own families for Christmas. I wasn't being loving. I wasn't at peace. I could have made the choice to give my partner the gift of spending time with his family and enjoying it, but instead I gave myself the suffering that I wasn't in a place I wanted to be. No peace here. So remember, it's not about compromising. It's about choosing to make loving choices. And hey, if you're going to go to your spouses and be miserable the whole time, make a different choice. Talk to your spouse about it and say, this isn't working for me this year. Maybe there's some other way that we can make it work. But don't show up and then be miserable, because nobody that loves you wants you to be miserable. I know I said that earlier, but it's true. Paramahansa Yogananda said this, and I just love this quote. Let your soul smile through your heart, and my heart smile through my eyes, that I may scatter rich smiles in sad hearts. What a message. Scattering rich smiles in sad hearts. If each of us were to make a commitment to scatter rich smiles in sad hearts, I'm absolutely certain that the stillness of God would be ours, and we would be loving and bring about world peace. If everybody on the planet decided to know that peace began with them, what do you think might happen? Confucius said, wherever you go, go with all your heart. If we came from that place of our hearts being loving and kind and knowing that whenever we saw anybody, no matter what the situation, we saw them as the face of God. Hint, hint, they are. What do you think would happen if everybody recognized, no matter what's going on, we let go of our judgment? Hey, that person over there is being unkind. No, I'm seeing it as unkind. I don't know the whole situation. And I don't know if that's a life lesson for them. I don't know if that's growing their spirituality in some way. It's time for each of us to release all of our judgments, just to notice when we're judging and saying, oh, could I give them the benefit of the doubt? Benefit of the doubt is wonderful. It allows you to just let go of so much stuff. I'm grateful when people give me the benefit of the doubt. I didn't really mean to say that. That didn't come out quite right. You know, if they give you the benefit of the doubt, they don't judge you. Wherever you go with all your heart. Ernest Holmes in Science of Mind wrote this: the heart is the center of divine love in perfect circulation. Its action is harmonious, vital, adequate, and complete. There is no false action and no wrong action. The pulsations of life are steady, unceasing, and perfect. And for me, I think part of the quote that's the most important line to pay attention is there's no false action and no wrong action. No matter what is happening on this planet, our philosophy says God is in it somewhere. God is in it somewhere. I might not be smart enough to see where God is in it. I might not have vision enough to see where God is in it. But if I'm going to stand in this philosophy and believe what I stand up here and talk about, I need to believe that God is in it somewhere. God is in that war in Ukraine. It's part of divine order. And I'm not going to see them as victims. I'm going to see them as having opportunities to stand in the strength of who they are as a country. And we've seen it. I'm going to see things that I don't understand that I might judge as bad or not so wonderful, as remembering that God is in it somewhere. There is no spot where God is not. So God's in it somewhere, even if I don't see it. And it might just be an opportunity for us to scatter those rich smiles. It might just be our opportunity to expand what we believe is the truth. That love is really that fulfillment of the law of good. That love alone is going to heal this world. So I'm going to bring you back to let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. And I'm going to repeat your affirmation for the week. What's the one choice I can make today to step into the truth of who I am? To know that what is in my heart matters. And to remember, peace begins with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Larry Marie Howe, for that most enlightening message on peace. It's offering time, a time to give back to where we have been spiritually fed and nurtured. Let us put our consciousness into the divine flow by practicing the law of circulation. Knowing to give is to receive. We open ourselves to all the blessings raining down on us through the windows of heaven. Please be reminded that we're no longer passing the basket. However, you are welcome up to the offering plates here on the sanctuary or to the ones at the back door of the sanctuary. To donate from home, please use the donate button, which is located on our weekly email and our website. If you are not receiving our weekly email, please email us at unitybatonrouge@gmail.com. At this time, please join me in our offering affirmation. all together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. Thank you, God.
The chorus to this is in your bulletin. Sing along. It's a catchy little tune.
Sing a song.
Sing a song.
Spread some cheer.
Spread some cheer.
There are
Sad and lonely faces everywhere.
Be a friend.
Be a
Show
friend.
some
Show
love.
some love. You will lift them from the dungeons of despair. Show a little bit of love and kindness. Never go around with hatred's blindness. Take a little time to reach for joy.
Wear a happy face.
Sing a little bit when the days are dreary. Offer a little help to a friend who's weary. That's the way to make the world a happy place.
Sing a song.
Sing a song.
Spread some cheer.
Spread some cheer. There are sad and lonely faces everywhere.
Offer help.
Offer help.
Bring some hope.
Bring some hope to the weak and discouraged on life's road. Show a little bit of love and kindness. Never go around with hatred's blindness. Take a little time to reach for joy.
Wear a happy face.
Sing a little bit when the days are dreary. Offer a little help to a friend who's weary. That's the way to make the world a happy place.
Please join me in our offering blessing all together. The unity of Baton Rouge is a diverse, growing, thriving, healing community of wisdom, love, support, and service. Thank you.
With a little help from my friends. Thank you, Janet. So we have time to announce the winner of the retreat. Now, I happen to know as I look around who brought the most friends because we are a small but awesome congregation. So, does anybody else know who brought the most friends and wins that retreat? Well, yes and no. Those are people who are participating in the service. So actually, I think it's Cindy Wonderful who brought her parents, Penny and Rusty. Yoo-hoo! Yes, so thank you. Thank you. Cindy, wonderful for doing that. Okay, and speaking of events, on November 5th at 7 p.m., we're going to have an open mic night. Not our first, not our last, but another open mic night. November 5th, that's a Saturday night at 7 p.m. Mark that. Be there or be square. Again, don't forget the retreat next weekend, and we will be setting up for that right after service today. So, following Reverend Larry's lead, what do we got?
One more thing, we're going to have special music next week for the Shining Shadow Retreat on Sunday, and we're going to have a choir, like 8 to 12 people, and
so y'all need to come back, in other words. And a lot of the choir members are here, so they got to come back too. But we're going to try to rehearse a little bit, because I just gave them music yesterday through emails and they didn't listen to it yet. And we have a rehearsal at Aubrey's house at 6:30 on Thursday. And so we just want to make people prepared before we do this on Sunday. And I think that was it. But
Thank you, Jude.
say grace in here so we don't have to do it in the back for the
Oh.
potluck.
Okay, don't forget potluck. Let us feel the power of peace and grace as let's stand and sing the peace song. Anybody feels comfortable to join hands, you can. You don't have to.
Let there be peace. Lyrics. It begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. We're a family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.